Alright guys, how's it going? It's Smash King. I'm here with Umamusume pre-derby, and we're talking about balance changes today. So I'm sure the big news around the Umamusume community a couple days ago was that we suddenly have patch notes. And not just any patch notes. This is a long, long list of patch notes. Long list of patch notes. Look how long this goes on for. But I'll help you guys break it down. Please note that I am by no means an expert, but I'll help try and break it down for anyone else who's new, like me. Like, for example, like I didn't play any on the other servers. I literally just joined global. You're not even that launched. I came into global like a month after, like Umamusume launched. So take my words with a grain of salt. But either way, I'm pretty competitive in this game. I'm the silver collector in Champions Meet, so when I talk about some of these things, it's because I've learned the mechanics of the game. So in a way, I feel somewhat qualified to talk about this, but obviously, I'm sure there's other like big, like Umamusume creators you can follow for more information. But I'll try and break it down so it's easy to understand. So let's go over like the basic stuff first. So this patch is gonna come out November 11th, and this is gonna be basically Umamusume 2.0. This is the big change that came during Japan's Japan's and I think every other region's first anniversary. But for us in global, we're getting this like at half anniversary. So this is kind of unprecedented territory for global. So pretty all of the champions meets in the future are going to be affected by this. So for example, like if you follow other Umamusume content creators who are telling you about how to prepare for the next champions meet, that's gonna get thrown out the window because this patch changes everything about how Umamusume is played. So until who knows, maybe we're just never gonna be on like similar patches to other regions, right? Global could just be trailblazing its own meta here. So let's take a look at the first basic stuff. So yeah, November 11th, this is when the patch will roll out. I think there's gonna be a big maintenance for like 6 hours. I think is what I saw that the game's gonna be unavailable for. So this is big, right? So first of all, we got some adjustment details. So we got increased monies and support points for career runs. This is both earned in career and earned at the end of the career. This is increased parameters. I'm pretty sure this means increased stats that you get for events. For example, like when you win URA finale, for example, right? Like Reporter Otonashi, depending on your friendship with her, will either give you 0 points or +5 points for all of your stats. So I'm pretty sure that, who knows, maybe that might well go up to like maybe +3, +5, and then +10. Who knows? Like, but pretty sure that's what this means. Increased number of recreation events for our PAL type support cards. So this is for rare cards. Sorry if I can't highlight properly, my mouse doesn't work properly. So for anyone that's like Are We Kyurien, Tazuna, and upcoming Riko Kashimoto card. So especially the rare version specifically. Remember that for a lot of Umamusume content creators are recommending to at least get Max Limit Break R Riko. So this is now making R Riko better, which is going to be important for Unity Cup that's coming up. So the increased rate PAL support card events occur when they're in your deck. So this is, if you don't run PAL cards normally, what happens is your friend card or PAL card will come by and give you, it's usually like a random like +5 to one of your stats. And I think it's like +5 energy or +10 energy or something. It's usually beneficial, right, to have those cards because you basically will get free stats whenever. So this is now buffing PAL cards, basically. They're trying to incentivize you to run PAL cards instead. I'm not sure what this one is, just choice options for career and events with PAL type support cards in your deck. I'm not sure what choice options are, because as far as I know, that you just get static career and events for PAL type cards, because you normally, it's kind of like with, like, say, Otonashi or Akikawa, they'll give you, like stats and skill points for the end of your career. If you have a PAL type support card in your deck, you'll also get stats and skill points at the end of the careers, but usually those are static, so I'm not sure what it means by choice options. I guess we'll find out. Just the probability of trading failure when max energy is increased, so as of right now, when you max your energy, it doesn't affect anything. For example, like say, you start to fail training is around like 45 energy, or probably anything less than 50 energy, you start to get failure rate. But I'm guessing that when you increase your max energy, so say you have like plus like 10 max energy, or plus 4 max energy, now it might be like 49 or 48 might be was when you start to fail training, and then whatever, it decreases from there, right? So this is a slight buff for anyone who runs like Asian Flash or any support card that increases your max energy. This is nice. Hot support card events may now occur when a low rate even when they're not in your deck. So this is big. So now any random pal cards will now give you those extra stats and extra energy, even when you don't run them. Because I think pal cards were the only type of card that could not show up when they weren't in your deck. So you guys, I'm sure you've noticed throughout some of your runs, sometimes random support cards events will pop up when you're not running that support card. So this now, but pal cards were the only ones who did not show up during your runs, but now they will after this update. But there's a low chance, right? So, but it's still nice to have. Now this is a big change that I'm sure we're all happy with. Careers to mitigate the effect of bad conditions. So now, less bad things will happen during your career. Increased probability to recover more energy when resting when afflicted with Night Owl. So now, Night Owl can be kind of beneficial. You recover more energy when you afflicted with Night Owl. I'm sure it'll still have the same, like, minus 10 energy or whatever if it happens to proc again. But being able to recover more energy while you're afflicted with Night Owl means that it's not as bad of a condition, right? Night Owl is probably one of the worst conditions in the game. I'm sure we all know that, right? Because you gotta spend, your infirmary turn, and then even then you might not cure it, or you gotta go to recreation and pray you get shrine to cure it. Like, it's just all around just a bad time, right? Decreased probability of being afflicted with bad condition for some trainee events. So assuming this is like with Night Owl, right? Sometimes with Night Owl, you'll get a random mood down. Oh, this is being afflicted with a bad condition for some trainee events. So I'm guessing this is, yeah, when you run into like sleep deprived, you might not. There's a lower chance you'll get Night Owl. This is what I was talking about earlier. Sorry, mood decreases. Removed mood decreases when being afflicted with a bad condition for some events. So, for example, like during Night Owl, sometimes you'll get a mood down in addition to the minus 10 energy. So now they took that away, which is nice, obviously, right? Because the worst is when you hit proc Night Owl, and then you get a mood down in addition to the energy. It's just like, well, I might as well just quit this run, right? Because it basically just destroys your momentum for any run. So that's really nice to have. Mood decrease when I put the train of slack condition now it occurs randomly. So I think this was guaranteed before. So when trainee skips training, I think you got an automatic mood down when it happens. Now it's just like it's probably like a 50-50 chance of you getting a mood down when Slacker happens. So now Slacker is probably the worst condition in the game. Rest and recreation, big change. This now gets rest and recreation during summer camp will now cure bad conditions. So I'm sure we all know this. If the recommendation is always to rest before summer camp. However, I've started resting in early June, or even late May if I have to run Takozuka Kinen or Yasuda Kinen, just so I don't have to rest on late June. Because if you rest late June and you get Night Owl from being sleep deprived, it's the worst because you cannot cure conditions during summer camp right now. So if you got Night Owl before summer camp, you're basically screwed. But now, rest and recreation or summer camp will now cure bad conditions. So that's great. I can now rest during summer, or right before summer camp, without worrying too much about it. Resting now has a chance to cure Night Owl and Skin Outbreak. I believe you have to get well rested. If you get well rested, because I believe this was a thing in JP from what I read, is if you have well rested, you can cure Night Owl or Skin Outbreak. Skin Outbreak, we don't have to worry about too much unless you're running your Uma into the ground with the races. But yeah, if you hit well rested after you get Night Owl, you can cure it. This is another thing that I thought was in the game already, but it's not. Training with Otonashi, now a chance to cure Slacker. So that's nice to to know that you can just train with Otonashi, and then she that can have cure slacker condition. And certain career events now cure bad condition. I heard that if you get a say like a fan letter will cure fan letter will cure slacker. And I think a couple of other things will cure certain conditions, right? Like for example, I think if you get like practice perfect, that will cure practice poor. I believe that. I think that's always been the thing, but stuff like that, right? There'll be more details. I have another document over here that we'll go over. Adjusted race systems. This is another big change. This is spot struggle, so this is front runners. This only affects front runners. Dueling system and runaway aptitude skills. So this is Onige, which is one of I think JP's favorite styles to run. This is better front runner or more intense front runner. Runaway is the method that if you watch the anime or if you know anything about the way some of these Umas ran in real life, like actual horses, this is Silent Suzuka's and Twin Turbo style. For example, if you want to watch the anime, like Silent Suzuka and Twin Turbo basically just sprint from start to finish. That's basically what this is. So we're getting this early. I'm not sure how it's gonna work. That means Silent Suzuka is suddenly now the only character in the game, because Onige is only available, or Runaway style, I guess, is only gonna be available on certain Umas that did it in real life. So there's Silent Suzuka and then Twin Turbo. I'm not sure which other Umas are gonna get it, but I know those two for sure. And obviously Twin Turbo is not in the game yet. Twin Turbo is not gonna be out for I think until like I think maybe around March, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even later than March. But either way, it's gonna be a while. So Silent Suzuka stonks are up now. I'll go over the dueling system and spot struggle system in I have another thing over here that I'll pull up. Increase runners' last spurt speed based on their guts parameter. So guts now matters. So if you guys have or haven't bought your user friend points on the Haru Urura Guts card, you should do it now. Because Guts is now going to be meta, and the Haru Urura card is going to be used for a long time. So make sure that you guys spend your friend points on that Haru Urura card right now if you don't have it already. Justice systems involving hills on courses. So this is one thing that was brought up during some content creators videos, which is that for some reason some courses, for example, even this CM for example, right, the one that we're currently on is Leo Cup, Takazuka Kinen, there are downhills on the course, but because they're not substantial enough, they actually don't count right now as downhills, even though there's a downhill. So they're going to adjust that so that actually is going to be a downhill. So this will actually affect certain CMs. I believe the next CM is also on Hanshin Racecourse, which is the one we're on right now. So there will be a downhill on the next CM when there wouldn't have been before. So this will affect certain CMs. So obviously the effects of having downhills is going to be big, because that means width's going to be more important. Just to race positioning the final corner line to line up more easily, so this would be nice to avoid traffic jams. You guys ran during Cancer Cup, or even like during this current one. This current one's also really bad that I've noticed, is there are just traffic jams on the final corner. So this now should be a little bit easier for Umas to get in line properly and reduce the chances of getting blocked. Skills to improve navigation now improve passing ability during the durations. So now stuff like Nimble Navigator, Dodging Danger, what else is there? Go with the Flow. Those are now viable to run, because they'll usually give you like a speed or acceleration increase depending on the skill. You'll probably have to look it up to find out which ones is the best one. Nimble Navigator for sure is going to be one of the best skills in the game now, because it's an Excel skill on the final corner during last spurt. So Nimble Navigator stonks really high right now. So make sure you start looking for Nimble Navigator skill hints. Alright, recovery endurance late race now enables runners to exert full strength based on the endurance recovered. So now in late race endurance now applies. So as of right now, if you guys didn't know, if you recover late race, you've used a late race endurance skill, like say a small breather for late surgers or extra tank for like anybody. those skills actually don't really matter. The only way they would matter is if you gas out from debuffs, because the way last spurt works, if you don't know, is they take the stamina. Basically, your Uma kind of calculates: can I run from the late race portion, which is the second bar on the top? But can I run from here to the finish, right? If I can, then I'll start accelerating now. If I can't, then I'm gonna wait, right? So now, oh, they're like, oh, I can't make it from, the start of the late race to the end without like, running out of breath, right? So they'll wait to start the last spurt. But if they say like proc a last breather or a small breather, which is a late race recovery skill, they'll be like, oh, I can start accelerating right now, right? Because say if you were to do that in the current version, a small breather, if you were to do it right now, they'll still be like, oh, I don't have enough endurance right now to make it from here to the end, right? So basically, it made no difference. The only way it made difference if you got debuffed. So now, late race endurance now can matter, but obviously you still want the stamina to start your acceleration even earlier. This is now helps you survive debuffs. It's helps you survive debuffs without a big loss in speed. Okay, this is gonna be like a quick one because I'm gonna go over it later. Just parameters acquired for some training events. So this will increase stats for a bunch of Umas. New choices for some training events for the following Umas, and new training events for the following training Umamusume. And just a parameter that we acquire from some support card events. This is another thing that's basically all of these cards will now give you better stats. Did they talk about it after? Let's go over this quickly. I'll come back to this if they don't talk about it. Just the effects and conditions required for some skill activations. So this is so a whole bunch of skills will now be changed. I'm gonna go over it later, like all the different skills. But a whole bunch of skills are now getting changes to the way they work. Positioning required. So now this is depends on where you are. Now these skills are different. Activation timing, again, for all these skills is going to be different. This is increased values for these skills. And extended effect duration for all of these skills. And new effects for these skills. So that's going to be a whole new thing. Okay, so they don't talk about it. Okay, so parameters for these support cards also include new skills. So which I'm going to go over. First one, let's go over the game mechanics first. I believe this is the link I'm looking for. Yes, okay. So the race mechanics handbooks. So the new thing that's introduced is... Where is it? Okay, let me switch the song for 1 sec. Okay. So we got position keep. Okay, so this is the new mechanics. So this is lead contest. This is first anniversary. So I believe this is... This is spot struggle. Okay, so lead contest. So this lead contest could trigger anywhere from 150 meters after the start of the race until shortly after the beginning of the mid race. This only affects front runners. This is with it if they're both using Onige or the runaway strategy. Sorry, front runners or anyone using runaway. When a contest triggers, this will show up. This will say runaway. So not runaway. This will say spot struggle. So during the spot struggle, participating front runners or runaway will all get extra target speed. Strength and duration is buffed will depend on their guts stats. So this is when guts is a thing. So you're now going to want to build gut stat. Especially for front runners, I think is going to be the most important. Additionally, stamina usage of all participants will be increased. So you will have to use... So front runners will use 1.4 times more stamina than usual. Runaway will use 3.5 times more stamina than usual. Then if you get rushed, then you're giga screwed. Any ongoing league contest will automatically end slightly before the halfway point of the mid-race, no matter the remaining effect duration. So now, this basically will determine positioning for any frontrunners. So now frontrunners will now basically duel with each other during the race. So this is now, your frontrunner must now have all of the stats. You want guts, you want stamina, you want speed, you want wit. This is going to be extremely hard to do. I think like Victoria Frontier was having discussion. He's just like, I don't know how people are going to be able to hit this. So might be really tough for front runners with this, especially because we don't have because we don't have make a new track. Make a new track is when this came out during first anniversary, right? But because we only have Ao Haru, it might be really hard to get the required stats for this to work efficiently. So front runners might be in a bit of trouble, actually, with this mechanic. We'll see, because everyone else still has other things to do. We have with Okurabe, which is dueling. So this is this is Showdown. This is another first anniversary JP server. For Showdown to occur, which is, sorry, I don't refer to it as dueling. So for duel to occur, multiple horse girls must have similar current speed within less than 0.6 meters per second of each other, be within 3 meters of each other for longer than 2 seconds, have at least 15% of their HP or stamina left, and be on the final straight. So note the final straight used to refer to straight after the final corner. Okay, so now the one straight. Okay, so this might be a little bit different. It might have a weird thing happen on courses, on some sprint courses with the no corners. Okay, so anyway, so there's no restriction or distance for showdowns aside from the length of the final straight. If remaining HP of a girl participating in a duel falls below 5%, she'll drop out of the duel. In showdown and duel, all participating girls will gain target speed and acceleration based on their guts. So, guts. Guts meta is here, people. Get your guts cards out. Guts cards are now important. And this is the runaway style, which I don't know if I have on here. Either way, runaway style is basically, I don't know if runaway's on here. I don't know if they have runaway. Yeah, I don't see how they have runaway. But either way, so the runaway style is basically front runner on steroids. It's only available on a few Umas. And it requires a lot of stamina to use properly. Otherwise you just die at the end of the course, right? So this is literally sprint from start to finish. Front runners still kind of like will, especially during mid race, will try and conserve stamina. But this style is basically just run all the way to the finish. It's extremely difficult. You need a lot of stamina. Might be pretty hard to achieve, but if anyone runs Silent Suzuka and they can manage to hit like the stamina, like they hit like 1200 stamina on Silent Suzuka, they could potentially just win the race. Or there's this strategies involving like runaway style, where you can just have your front runner just die and then basically make them an overtake target for your other Umas in the back, right? For a champions meeting, for example. So that's one thing that could work. But either way, Runaway is only available on Silent Suzuka right now until we get Twin Turbo, and then I'm not sure who else will get it after that. So if you're on Silent Suzuka, this option will be available to you soon. Okay, that's it for the race handbook, I believe. And then let's talk about all these other things. Yeah, so this is the basics here. Okay, so let's go from start to finish. Let's talk about. Actually, we'll start here. Let's talk with support cards. Not sure who made this document, by the way. Whoever made this document, thank you. This is really useful, especially for us to know right away what all the changes are. Not sure if it's complete or not, but either way, we got a whole bunch of changes to a bunch of support cards. I think was looking this over. I'll look this over a little bit, but I think one of the main big things is Yukino Bijin is now really good. This is the Wit card, I believe. Yukino Bijin. She gives you no stopping me. No stopping me is going to be one of the best skills because it's a late game excel skill in Final Spurt. So no stopping me is a really good skill to get now. What else we got here? Hydratant. Yeah, mostly just get a whole bunch of like power bonuses or like stat increases. So now it's gonna be a little bit easier to hit certain things. But I know the main thing is for sure it's Yukino Bijin. Oh yeah, Satsuka gives you focus now at her second chain event, which is quite nice. Gold City, go with the flow on her chain 1. This is going to be a really good skill. This is big. So SSR Smart Falcon gives you groundwork on chain event 1. So this is basically guaranteed to proc on almost any run. So groundwork farming is way easier now. Because now you can just run this SSR Smart Falcon. So now you have this available for easy groundwork. Is this SSR Smart Falcon? What else was there? Oh yeah, Air Shakur. Air Shakur gives you straightaway spurt on second chain event, which is quite nice and obviously an intense case. Also nice to have for that. So now Air Shakur is a really good end closer skill card to run. I'm not sure what restart is for Sama Suzuka. I think that's a front runner skill. I think it involves lane movement. I'm not 100% sure because I don't think it's in the game yet. A couple of them will get automatic the gold rate for a skill is now 100% instead of being random. Oh, King Halo Power SSR has Uma Stand. Uma Stand is going to be a really good skill because now it's way easier to trigger Uma Stand, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, either way, like a whole bunch of like cards got buffs. So there's dodging danger on stamina. Saiyan Sky Stamina SSR gets dodging danger. It's gonna be big for. It's gonna be big. So if you have that card, congratulations. Is there anyone that gives early lead? Anyone to give early lead? Early lead, by the way, is gonna be big. Now it's required for all front runners. So let's go into bad conditions. Bad conditions. High chance rest restores a lot of energy. Yep. So rest recreation now cures all conditions. Rest has a chance to cure night owl skin outbreak. Train Etsuko. Report Etsuko Otonashi. Chance to cure slacker. So see, there's well rested. Will cure a skin outbreak and night owl. Fanlighter will cure slacker. Extra training. So this is the top option when you get extra training. Will cure poor practice, low metabolism, migraine, and night owl. This says any condition, but these ones specifically it will cure. Fan Festival will cure slacker and slow metabolism, and yeah, some rest and creation will cure everything. Okay, I'm gonna skip the unique skills for now because we can go into that after. Actually, let's just go with the Umas now. So a bunch of Umas got changes. So some of them they'll only list changes. So if you don't know what some of these events do, you might have to look it up. Even I don't know even I don't know all of these events. But yeah, stuff like King Halo will now get Students Hint for After School Soda. You get 15 skill points added. And now she has a new event. Win G1 races at all categories and win the Yasuda Kinen. We get these plus 10 to all stats, 20 skill points, late December senior year. Okay, then might as well just go through the unique skills here because it's on already down here. So King Halo, Calming King or Prideful King, depending on which Star King Halo you have. It'll activate now. Before it used to be you had to be 5th place, and now they changed it to 4th place. And then if the champions meeting, it used to be 5th, and now it's now it used to be 5th, 6th, now it's 6th, 5th. Sorry, 6th. It used to be 5th, now it's 6th. Okay. And they added acceleration to blinding flash. And duration increase for the Unreal experience. Actually, I might just do the unique skills. Let me just quickly go through these because I'm gonna be here for so long if I list all of these. So, Nice Nature has when Kyoto Shimun High, Naruto Kinen, and Kokoro Kinen for these stats. Apparently, you can get there's a new event that she has, which is you can get this trigger up to 5 times. So you can get +5 energy and +5 to a random stat, which is actually kind of wild. So Nice Nature, easy to build Nice Nature now. So I don't want to hear any debuff, like, I didn't get my skill arguments. Alright, I couldn't win Nice Nature's career. Fukutaru now has a better event for which one's lucky card. I hate that one, by the way. Her new skill, or her unique skill now gets acceleration, which is pretty big. New event for winning Kyoto, Shimun High, Kobe Shimun High, Kikosho. New event, where she gets a plus, Bakushin gets on my title, plus 1 rap stat gets +10, or 2 rap stats now +10. Skill points from 10 to 20. All rep showdown, +10 energy to +10 additional wit. Winning tickets, late senior year, you get these 3 choices. It says unclear what the conditions are. Let's say I don't run a winning ticket very often, to be honest, so I'm not sure what this is referring to. Okay, we're just sweets. This is -15 stamina, but you get these skill hints. Precision Pilfer and Slick Scourge +2 is kind of wild. These take -15 stamina for that. Yeah, unique skill didn't get changed. Before these used to be, I'm pretty sure they're still minus like 10 and 25 energy or something like that. But you now get +1 mood and additional stats. That's way more stats than usual. I know that for sure. She gets a triple crown. I'm glad that she got this. She got this one because I feel like that should be a thing for Agnes Tachyon. That she now has an event where she wins triple crown, then she'll get +3 to all stats and tactical tweak hit +2. Her unique skill has changed, and now she gets a speed bonus. Now gets a speed increase when she activates her unique. I've always wondered that because she like kind of like moves forward, like during her animation when she activates it. But you know, obviously nothing happens right now. But now she'll get velocity increase. Major Ryan can now get practice perfect double circle in addition to the +20 stamina when her muscles can do anything event procs. Now she gets, when she wins Triple Crown, then she gets +15 to all stats and Slick Surge. So Major Orion is going to be quite a bit better now. You have to run like crazy hints on her. Alright, my favorite change is Super Creek. I can run Super Creek now. I'm like a certified, I'm not a Super Creek hater, I'm a Super Creek career hater. But this is so much better now. Under the Weather, which is the condition that she gets after running her first goal race. It gives her training failure rate 5% right now. Now going to be 2% failure rate. And basically with Practice Perfect, you can cure that condition, basically. I'm not sure if by cure it means it'll get rid of the condition, but Practice Perfect gives you 2% failure reduction, and since Under the Weather is going to be moved to 2% training failure rate, that means that Practice Perfect basically neutralizes it, right? Because 2% Practice Perfect takes away the 2% failure rate of under the weather. So that's massive. It means I can finally run Super Creek. And then she has other skill hints as well. If she wins Tennosho Autumn, Japan Cup, and Rima McKinnon, which is the winning, which has to win both Classic and Senior Year Rima McKinnon, then she gets plus 10 power, plus 10 guts, and prepared to pass, which is big because so you kind of want to run these races and win them. So Super Creek now gets a 5. Now gets your stamina increased to 7.5 recovery, which is wild. This is a massive stamina recovery. Super Creek now has the best recovery in the game, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is like 1.5 of a swinging maestro. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a big one. So Super Creek stonks are 100% up. But speaking of stonks up, it is Mino Top Gun. She gets a whole lot because she gets so win with G1 with every strategy, which is kind of crazy. But you get plus 5 to all stats, plus 30 to skill points. Final push, head to head, slick scourge, and straight with skill hints. You basically get all the skill hints that you would want for whatever style that you want. First place kiss will now activate. After the final corner. It might include the corner too. So this is basically just the increased condition of the first place kiss or flashy landing happening. But the main thing is that she has built-in no stopping me, which is now no longer requires you to be blocked, and it gives you acceleration. So before Nimble Navigator used to be really hard to trigger, but now it is really easy to trigger. It is like a 0.4 excel or something, a 0.2 excel. I don't remember, but it's really good. So is now really Mino Top Gun is now gonna be a really good Uma. So if you like Mino Top Gun, then congratulations. She is really gonna be really good from now on. Air Groove got a bunch of new events. Now she has to be 3rd place in order to get her unique off, so it was a little bit better as a late surger. So now it's probably proc more often because she's probably run as a late surger. Oh no, sorry, that's a pace chaser. Sorry, it used to be like she used to be from the back. Now she can be at the front. So because I think she works better as a pace chaser because she has a bunch of pace chaser skills. There's some really good events for Elkhorn or Pasa. Winning NHK Mile Cup, Mile Championship, and Yasuda Keenan. You get plus 20 speed, plus 20 wit, and plus 20 skill points. And the game tour even says plus 30, but I guess we'll find out when that happens. Grass Wonder. I always hated this in Search of Refreshment because it used to give you like guaranteed mood down during one of the summer camps, either first or second one. Can now be minus 10 energy instead. That'd be nice. Please land the minus 10 energy. Because I always hated running Grass Wonder when this happened, because I'm like, well, great, I lost the mood. That's dumb. She gets a triple crown. She gets plus 15 speed, plus 15 power, plus 15 wit, and up tempo, plus skill hit. Her unique is now easier to proc. Now she no longer has to be in the very back in order for this to work. When there's a will, there's a way. Now she's from 5th to 4th. So it's way easier to proc. Alright, this is a kind of a wild one. Darwin Scarlet has to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 races, which are all G1s, by the way. In late December, if she does all that, she gets plus 15 to all stats, plus 50 skill points, Unyielding Spirit, and head-to-head, which is all really good skill hints. And the game tour also says Nimble Navigator plus 1, but who knows if that's going to be a thing or not. These are all really good skills. And the main thing that I want to take note of is her unique is a big change. She can now activate it when she's 2nd place. Actually, no, this will only activate it when she's in 2nd place, which means Darwa Scarlet can now be an efficient pace chaser. Because one of the things that I don't like about Darwa Scarlet right now is her unique only procs when she's 1st. Which means that you kind of want to run her as a front runner, but she's not great as a front runner because her skill procs when she's 1st, but then as a pace chaser she might not get 1st until after, after a certain point, so it's like But either way, now you can get Splendid Red Ace. Now you can be second place and it'll proc, which is way better as a pace chaser. Because now this could proc, like say she's like third or fourth. Now when she moves up, you give her like prepared to pass or some other some other skills like unyielding spirit that allow her to pass the Uma early. Now when she starts to pass them, she can get her unique off in a much better spot. Vodka. That's the Keenan. She gets events. Ooh, and then she also has to win a whole bunch of races, which is tough because it's Dark Scarlet. Man, that's a lot of skill points. Plus 25 speed, plus 25 power, plus 20 skill points, plus an additional 25 skill points in Game Torah. Wow. Slick Surge and all that there is hints. That's crazy. That's a lot. And then Gold Ship. Gold Ship stonks just continue to go up. Uma Stand is now way easier to trigger. Because it's only being your 3 Umas instead of all of these Umas. But Uma Stand is now extremely good and easy to trigger. Alright, I'm not going to go over these too much because not everyone has all these Umas yet. Or has all of these Umas, but actually I'll give a link to the to this document in the description of my YouTube video. If you guys want to check it out. So you guys can take a look for yourself. Just change the song for a sec. But yeah, so a lot of these are really good. Let me just mention if there's any. Oh yeah, the big one here is Taiki Shuttle. Taiki Shuttle, now her shooting for victory will now activate instead of 5th place during Champions meeting, it'll now be 4th place. And now it'll be the second half of the final corner. So now it'll be way easier for Taiki Shuttle to activate this unique during mile races specifically. Because usually final corner on a mile race is usually like, say like Tokyo for example. Tokyo is like, the start of the final corner is like deep in the mid, or it's like deep in the mid race. Like it's still quite far to get to the late race. But now that's at the final corner, at the end of the final corner. This is way easier for Taiki Shuttle to use this for mile races specifically. Not as good for other Umas, by the way. This means it is way harder for other Umas to trigger shooting for victory on other courses or on other distances. So this is mainly a buff for Taiki Shuttle herself, who otherwise, you know, isn't very good. Because mainly we use Taiki Shuttle's shooting for victory on other Umas, not even on Taiki Shuttle herself. Silent Suzuka gets a big buff for her unique skill. Now it can be any time. It can be any time in the final leg. Anytime during the late race, as long as she's ahead of the Uma in front of her. Because now this used to be only a final straight, but now this could be any point during the second half of the race. Special Week also gets a buff for her unique. She can now still be first place and activate her unique, so she doesn't have to overtake anybody. And she gets a 0.1 acceleration on Shooting Star. So Shooting Star is now a decent accel skill for Special Week specifically, and here it's probably still not great. Anyone else I need to mention? Oh yeah, TM Opero. It is now way easier to activate her unique skill. Now you do no longer have to be blocked to activate it. You no longer have to be blocked for eternity. So you need to be blocked for 2 seconds on all sides. Now it's just as long as someone's behind her and someone's behind her and someone's in front of her. Way easier to proc. She no longer has to be blocked. That's for her skill to work. Biwa Hayahide gets a buff for hers, so instead of final corner, this can now be after the final corner, which might even include like the end of the final corner, which is quite nice. Legacy to Strong got changed a little bit, but I'm not exactly sure what exactly the change is. Teo's Anime Teo's unique got changed as well. It's got an increase speed. Look at Curran is now, she can now be second place and activate her skill, which means it's way easier for her to activate, because sometimes Curran Chan's usually second place. It happens to me all the time during my team trials races where I like the look at Curran is so hard to activate because now she's like always going to be second place. Nemesis, they got rid of the corner activation, so now you can use this at literally any point. So Nemesis gets a big buff here. Because now you no longer have to be on the corner, now you can be on the final straight, and this skill will activate as well. Sparkly Stardom for Smart Falcon can now be used at the second place or first place. Now it doesn't matter. She no longer has to be exactly first place. As long as she's second or first, she can activate Sparkly Stardom, which is a nice buff for Smart Falcon. Shadow Break. Now it needs condition. There's some conditions like it needs to be blocked and it needs to be like the late race, and she gets increased speed if that happens. Air Groove, her Wedding Air Groove. Now it could be, I believe this is late race. Yeah, I think this is guaranteed late race now. Her unique skill. I believe it used to be random. Let me know if I'm wrong, but either way, I think it's better, easier to activate now. Grass Wonder. Fantasy Grass Wonder now gets a way better stamina and recovery. It's actually really good, even though it doesn't inherit. Same with Super Crease. Fujikiseki. This is a big change. This is a big change to her skill, which makes her really good now. Like she'll probably start dominating mile races. Anything else on here? No. Okay. Probably don't need to go through the Al Harvey banners because these are gonna get added, I think, just for certain Umas, so I don't need to go through those. Alright, Pocket Skills. Okay, so Maverick, which is the one where if you're the only one using a specific strategy, will now give 60 at single circle and 80 at double circle. Before it used to be 40 and 60. Now Competitive Spirit now no longer requires you to have 6 Umas running the same strategy. Now it's just like a percentage, just 40% of Umas running the same strategy. So this way, you can actually use this for safe for like CMs now. Because CMs, in order for this to work, you would require everyone to basically be late surging, or everyone to be pace chasing, or whatever. Now this is just 40%. Alright, so Laylo and Iron Will. Oh, sorry, yeah. Laylo Iron Will. Now could be. Now it's a mid-race skill. So now this is no longer like has to be used at the beginning of the race. Laylo, Unruffled. This is another really hard to activate. Unique, not unique skill, but gold recovery. Now you just need to be surrounded instead of blocked, and for like blocked for a while, right? Like 1 second. Now you just need to be surrounded, which is way easier to accomplish. Stamina to spare. So now this is now. I believe this used to be at the start of the race. This could be literally at the start of the race. Now this is. So this is early race, right? Stamina spare is you recover stamina in the early race. This has been changed to this now recovers stamina in the early race, but now it's the later half of the early race. This way you're guaranteed better stamina recovery. Instead of like, say you run out of the gate and then you trigger this, right? So it's basically useless, right? But now this is a guaranteed later half of the early race, so now it's will heal more. Or more efficiently, I should say. Wait and see. So this is like I believe this is if you're in if you're the later half of the Umas, let's say you're 7th to 12th, then you'll proc the skill and also give you increased acceleration. For sprint, this is for sprint races only. Watchful Eye or Keen Eye. This is another early race skill, early race stamina recovery skill, but now will activate in the later half of the race and of the early race. And now this is also a debuff skill, so this will decrease current speed of of all other Umas in front of you. Rosy Outlook. This goes from being a early race, or this is mid race only skill to. This is order. So this is this is you had to be first to use this, but now you can be from third to first to use the Rosy Outlook. This is extra tank. Now this is like when you run out of health, so basically you have to. So extra tank was kind of useless because you had to run out of stamina for this to trigger. But now it's like, if you're low on HP, if you're low on stamina, now it'll trigger, right? So basically instead of running out, now it'll trigger when you're low, which is way better. Alright, this is some of the big ones. This is Professor Corner Depth and Professor Curvature. This can now proc anytime. So instead of like basically this could proc basically only at first, right? First corner. But now this could recur at any corner. This is all corners, right? Because before it used to be, this is basically only first corner, right? The corner random equals 1. Basically it just meant only one corner, only first corner. But now Professor Curvature can recur at any corner. I believe it has a cooldown as well. I don't see anywhere where it says cooldown, but either way, Professor Curvature can now, and Corner Depth can now be used at any corner. So this could help you, like say you don't activate Professor Curvature until like the final corner. This could be big, right? Now you could use Professor Curvature, which can help you get to the speed that you need to win. Straightaway Depth / Beeline Burst. The skill is now good. It used to Straightaway Depth basically only lasted 0.9 seconds before. And now lasts 3 seconds. Now this is actually a good skill. Homestretch Haste was 1.8 seconds now, and Homestretch Haste / Body and Mind used to be 1.8 seconds, now 2.4. And any like distance or corners or strategy corners can now be activated on any corner, just like Professor Curvature. Yeah, Uma stand. This is now way easier to do. You just have to be near 3 Umas, and then or be on them for 5 seconds. But I think this is a really strong velocity skill. I can't remember what the exact numbers on Uma stand is. I should probably look up my game tomorrow. Give me a second. Yeah, the 0.15 target speed, which is pretty good. I believe this is it's just way easier to trigger. And because Umamania, whatever it's called, yeah, Umamania, this is on Agnes Digital. It's coming out soon, so Agnes Digital is going to be an actual good Uma to go for. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for Agnes Digital. Topic trending in the charts, longer duration, Leader's Pride. So now this will activate if you're blocked as well. So say like the Uma's coming up behind you as well, that means that you can activate Leader's Pride. So now it's just easier to trigger. Prepared to Pass goes from 1.2 seconds to 1.8 seconds. Position Pilfer goes from 1.8 to 2.4. And 1.5 million CC or 15 million CC now lasts longer, and now can be on any slope. It doesn't have to just be the first one, which means it can actually be useful for excelling at the end. For example, for the next CM, for example, keep an eye out for any laser just running this skill, because now you could use it on the final downhill, which now exists. So this laser surger skill, keep an eye out for this for 1.5 million CC. Masterful Gambit will now activate basically only in last spurt. Before it used to activate at any point in the mid race. Now this will activate during last spurt in late race, yeah. And they took out the distance difference rate, which is I think the reason why no one ran it. Gap Closer / Blinding Flash now increases Excel, which is what I thought I did before. Gonna be completely honest. I always thought Gap Closer / Blinding Flash increased Excel. So King Halo Stonks are up. Huge lead / staggering lead. Now now you don't have to be like super far ahead, because this is really hard to do in sprints to be super far ahead. Now you just be 3 lengths ahead instead of 5. It lasts way longer. So now, can't remember who has a huge lead. I want to say it's like Marzensky or Sakurabakushi. No, I can't remember which one has it, but either way, that's way better. Mile Maven. Okay, this is a Taiki shuttle skill, which never worked for her because she needs to be first place and she's a pace chaser. Because it had to be like an early race or early sorry, it had to be first half of the race for Mile Maven to work. Now this will work on the last half of the race, and now you can be at any point long as you're in the first 50%. And now you don't have to like. Now it doesn't take as long to activate as well. So, because this was such a stupid skill for Taiki Shuttle to have, because she could never activate it unless you run her as a front runner, which you don't want to, because she can't activate her unique skill. So now this skill is actually gonna be good. Taiki Shuttle stonks are way up now, by the way. Change the duration of shifting gears is up to from 1.2 to 2.4, and unyielding spirit from 1.8 to 2.4. So this is like, these mile skills are now way improved. So keep an eye for next CM, by the way. Next CM is gonna be chaos. Killer Tunes got a big increase, so now Dark Scholar can actually use this skill. Steadfast or Unyielding, which is basically a completely useless skill before, now has Excel, so now it's not useless. Keeping the lead, which is a really stupid skill for McQueen to have, because she was never going to have this many Umas behind her. Now it's now way easier for her to activate her for keeping the lead. Because yeah, it used to be like you had to have like 3 Umas. Your Umas she had to be like 3 lengths ahead of another Uma in a long race, which is really hard to do. I'm pretty sure this is like a mid-race skill or something. So this was really hard for McQueen to use, but now she can actually use it. And we got corner acceleration. Can be used at any corner, just like corner adept. Rushing Gale. So SSR Rico stonks just went up because now it's 1.8 seconds to 3 seconds. This is way better now. Nimble Navigators. This is the big one. Nimble Navigator now no longer requires you to be blocked. Now you just have to be near the front. So this is a good skill to have for anybody, by the way. Highlander can be activated at any slope. Doesn't have to be the first one. Center stage / prune positioning, increased lane movement, and lane movement now increases velocity, I believe. So you're gonna want to have this on most Umas. Early taking the lead. This is another big one for front runners. You no longer takes 5 seconds to activate early lead. That's now gone. You can just now. This could be used at the very start of the race. So now this is early lead / taking the lead is now a front runner requirement. This is a groundwork proc skill now. That's how big it is. So you're gonna want to have this skill on all of your front runners, because this is an instant proc. This is an acceleration skill. So you want this on all of your front runners from now on. Not sure what second wind does. Honestly, not sure. I'm pretty sure it's been an awful skill, and I don't think it's gonna get good until after, apparently. Dodging danger. This is a big one, by the way. Dodging danger. Now you can use change lane 50% of the track. The lane movement's kind of insane. This is definitely like you're not gonna get blocked. But yeah, that's a kind of crazy one. I don't believe it's super great at the moment, but it will be later. Tsuba's True Trap and Technician increased. I believe this is a Tokai Teo skill, so this is better. Determined Descent now will activate on any slope instead of just being the last slope, or whatever, the second slope. So this will activate whenever now, which is nice. Tactical Tweak is now way easier to use, because Tactical Tweak basically requires you get an acceleration boost on a pace chaser if they're into the later half, right? So you have to be in the back, like the last 50% of Umas. Now they changed to 40%. So now it makes a little more sense for if there's a lot of pace chasers, you can actually get tactical tweaks to proc. So this is a big change. That's really nice to have. Fighter now lasts longer. This is a velocity skill that increases. Basically, just allows you to lane change faster. Plan X countermeasure. This is now later half of the mid race, so it means it's a little bit easier to get your speed up before you hit last spurt. Meticulous measures. I believe this is also like a lane movement skill. Base duration's increased. This is now a way better skill for regular Marozensky. And I think Ogre Cap has it as well. But either way, I still think this activates at a random point, so I don't know if this is any better. The Thunderbolt step, which has longer duration. I believe that's it. Oh no, we have the debuffs as well. Okay, so Intimidate, which is mostly used by Karin-chan. Okay, now instead of just having to be third place, she can now be in the first half. Now she no longer has to be for third place specifically to activate Intimidate. Now she can just be in the first half of all racers. There's Stop right there, which is I also don't remember what this one does. This is on Biko Pegasus. That I've pretty much never used it. This is a decreased acceleration skill for all Umas, which is kind of wild. Then you have Speed Eater. Speed Eater required you to be first place in order to use it. This is the velocity drain skill that was talked about during the last mile CM. But before it basically would only work on your front runner, but now it can be used potentially on your pace chaser as well. Because this goes, now you had to be first place in order to use Speed Eater, now you can be from third to first place to use it. There's also Opening Gambit, which I believe is if you don't get first place as a front runner, then you activate Opening Gambit and you slow down other Umas. So instead of 5 seconds to activate, now it's 3 seconds to activate. I think I went through all these Umas. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, that's a lot of changes, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the unique skills that we talked about. They've changed some for other Umas, but these Umas technically haven't come out yet, so it doesn't really matter. But basically, these are the changes that they made to these Umas, like Agnes Digital, Halloween Rice Shower, and Kamakami Princess. But either way, they haven't come out yet for us, so the changes will just come out when they come out. Okay, so that's about it. I hope that was helpful for anyone who's new like I am. I hope I explained it well enough. I'm sure there are other Umamusume content creators that you could probably check out, and they probably have more detailed explanations for how this works. But I hope that helps for anyone who's new that doesn't quite know all the lingo. I hope I explained it well enough. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time for some more Umamusume content. Have a good one.